And we'll be starting off using a pencil, so make sure you have a pencil handy. Alright, what time is it? Let's see. 5:04. Just one more minute. Just to. Alright, I will begin. So, like I said, make sure you have a pencil. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find our horizon line. So the horizon line is where the sky and the field will meet in this piece. So let's go ahead and find our horizon line. We're going to start from the top and maybe just find like a quick measurement. I usually use like 2 fingers and kind of measure my way down. So that'd be like 1, 2, 3. 3 of those down. Just give yourself enough room for the sky that will hold the moon. And yeah, I think that's it, just the moon. So I'm gonna put my horizon line right here. And I'm just gonna make a line going all the way across. Just very lightly. You don't want it too dark. Another thing that you could do is make your line, or a little line wherever on the corner, and then fold it so you get a nice crinkled line right where your mark is. Or if you have a ruler, that also helps with measuring. Okay. All right, so we're gonna work our way down, starting with the sky. But first, I'm going to place my moon. So my moon is going to be circular. So I'm going to put my moon right over here. I just want to make sure I keep this part of the piece pure white. So I'm going to make my circle. And we're going to be putting white in there. Whether a white crayon or a white oil pastel. So I just very lightly drew a circle for my moon. It's where I want it. That's the right size that I want. And so we are going to begin coloring our sky with whatever color blue crayon you guys have. I know Crayola has like a regular blue and like a cerulean blue, which is like a blue mixed in with a little bit of green, I think. I'm not sure, don't quote me, but I'm gonna find my blue oil pastel, and we're gonna fill in the whole top part of our piece. So let's begin, and I would stay horizontal because if you look up in the sky, it's not gonna look vertical. So I'm gonna stay horizontal. I'm just gonna start filling in the top part of my sky. Maybe since I want a nice glow around the moon, I'm gonna take my blue oil pastel or crayon and kind of go around in a circle until I meet where my pencil drawing of the moon is. So it will be easier to put white later on. So I'm gonna start circular, and then I'll do the rest horizontal. So while I am doing this, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of facts about Vincent Van Gogh. Since you're not in school yet, I know in some counties you will be going back soon. So let me tell you some facts. So the first fact is Vincent Van Gogh was 27 years old when he decided to get into art. So he was 27 years old. He wasn't always just an artist. He had some jobs before he became an artist. Like the first job he had was he was a teacher. I don't know what he taught, but he was a teacher. He worked in a bookstore. He was let's see, he was a pastor. He had a lot of different jobs growing up, being an artist. So those are a couple of those facts. The next fact is sometimes, this is the crazy part, like I don't know how much time he had on his hands with all those different types of jobs, but he made masterpieces in just one day. That is pretty crazy. In one day. I'm gonna turn it this way so it's easier. And that way I can put more pressure on my oil pastel or crayon or color pencil, whatever you guys are using. I'm gonna keep some parts of my sky light, but then I'm gonna keep going over and over, making some parts of my sky darker. So I'm gonna have like a shades of light blue and dark blue. But we're just covering in the area of our sky. Put more pressure on it. Make this whole area up here darker. If you want to have a nice, like, soft and smooth blended sky, find like a tissue wherever you are and go over the oil pastel if you're using oil pastels. It won't work with crayon, I don't believe, but if you're using oil pastels, taking something like a sheet of tissue paper and going over the oil pastels, it kind of smooths it out. But I want to keep mine very like texturized so that it looks like it was painted in a way. Okay. Alright, so give you guys some more facts. So another thing that I found crazy was that several of his paintings are some of the most expensive pieces of art in the whole world. The whole world. Some of the most expensive pieces that you will ever find. I think it would be crazy to have or own the original Starry Night, because growing up and going to school, taking art classes, the one painting that was always brought up the most was Vincent Van Gogh's Starry Night, and I always thought his techniques were fascinating, using those little line strokes of paint, showing separation of colors. I just thought it was really, really cool, his techniques when it came to Starry Night and other landscapes. Just gonna finish coloring in my sky. Taking my time for all you latecomers. So just coloring in my sky with just the blue. Just one blue, going darker over some areas to make darker and lighter areas. Giving out some facts of Vincent Van Gogh, just to give you guys some topics that you guys can talk about when you go back to school, or if you want to impress your art teacher. Extra credit. Okay. soon I'm going to be using white to show the moon and the reflection light around the moon. The number of calculated paintings that he made in his lifetime was 900. He created 900 pieces of art in 10 years. 900. Whew. Trying to wrap my brain around that number. 900. And even crazier than that 900 number, try to guess how many paintings he sold when he was alive. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to send in your answers, and I will tell you the correct answer. So just kind of dwell on that question, think about it, don't cheat, even though I'm right next to you. Do not go online and search it up. Try to come up with the number of paintings he sold when he was alive. So when you guys are coming up with your answer, I'm going to jump into the moon. And when I'm finished with the moon, I will tell you how many pieces of art he sold if you cannot figure it out. Give you guys a couple minutes to think about your answer. So I'm going to jump into my moon using my white oil pastel. I know it's crazy. I don't know how many times I've ever used a white crayon or a white pastel in my life. I've never had to pick up a white crayon and use it before. It's like one of the only colors in a crayon box I've never used. Okay, so I'm gonna color in my moon with this white. See, it's kind of getting rid of my pencil line. That's what you want. Just gonna color the whole thing white, and it's okay if you get some blue in your white moon. It's totally fine. It's not a problem. Okay. And then I'm gonna kind of create the aurora, which is the light reflecting off the moon now. Staying in a circular motion around the areas that I left empty when I was doing the blue. Kind of blending the blue and the white together. I don't know, like I said, if crayons do the same thing, maybe just try. I'm gonna take some of this white and put it inside the blue, around the moon, kind of like that. Kind of show that glow of the moon. Maybe to emphasize the mood, I'm gonna find my blue again and outline where the moon is. Just to show a little bit of that nighttime sky. So I'm gonna take my blue, let's see if this works. Perfect. And I'm gonna trace around my circular moon with that blue. And go back in it with more white, just to soften that up a little bit. Go. I'll put more light in the sky around that area. Okay. Let me see if there's a way for me to see how many of you guys guessed or found your answer. Let me see. 100. No, not 100. Okay, the answer is 1. one piece is the answer of paintings that he sold when he was alive. And I didn't see how many paintings were sold after his death, but he sold one painting when he was alive. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Just one painting. And I wish I knew the answer to what painting that was. If I had to guess, it would probably be not a painting that museums have. It's probably a portrait, because he started out doing painting portraits. So that was the first thing that he did when he started painting, was going out and finding models to paint. Up until he got to the point where he couldn't pay to hire models. Okay, next part is we're gonna draw our trail. So find your pencil, and we are gonna go to the middle, and we're gonna draw our trail. So the most important thing to keep in mind with the trail is you want it to be tiny when you start, and as you get closer to the bottom, you kind of want to widen that up to give perspective. So I'm going to find the middle. I'm just going to do the first side, and then I'm going to match that side to make it equal. So I'm going to start making like this kind of wavy line going down to the middle. Stay very light. So once you get that one, you want to match that side, still keeping in mind to stay small. And as you get closer to the bottom, you want to widen that up. And have it coming off the page. Yeah, so after he could not pay models, that's when he jumped into doing still lifes of flowers and doing landscapes. So there's always something you could do. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing the field with yellow. Actually, let's go ahead and do the grass first, around the trail, because the trail is gonna be brown, and then there's gonna be grass on both sides of the trail. And I'm gonna use a dark green and a light green for highlights. So I'm just gonna trace both my lines with the dark green first. This is gonna be the grass area. There's not much of a grass area with the green, so I'm probably just gonna bring it out to there. That is the dark green. Now I'm gonna see if this works with my light green. Yeah, kind of going around, kind of showing that light green around the edges of the dark green. If you don't have a light green, just take that green crayon that you used and go very, very light around some of the dark areas of the grass. I didn't do this in the original one because I was just looking at the piece recently and saw that there was green grass around the sides of the trail. So a little addition to the original piece. All right. Now I'm just gonna do the rest of the field with yellow. Just coloring in the rest with yellow. Going up to that grass line with the yellow. We're going to be putting oranges and browns into this yellow later. But first we're just going to start with this layer of yellow. Just go bring it all the way up to the skyline. So like I said, I teach at Painting with a Twist, and usually when we have paintings with a sky, it may be like water underneath the sky or land. People tend to leave a white stripe dividing both the sky and whatever is underneath of it. Do not do that. Just go all the way up to the line. Don't want to be able to see where 2 points of specific areas. You want to always meet both of them together. So just keep that in mind. If you're at home doing something, or if you're out at the beach or somewhere in the forest drawing or painting a field or whatnot, like Vincent Van Gogh. Yeah, landscape is fun. I feel like Van Gogh's style of landscapes was very relaxed, and he used a wide range of colors. So he just didn't use greens. He used blues and reds and oranges and browns when he did his landscapes. It wasn't the traditional landscape with greens and stuff like that. So he used lots of varying colors. Alright, finish with that side. Now we're going to do the next side. What I like doing is going to like preserves and other areas with greenery. Bringing out a sketchbook, a pencil, an ink pen, and an easy thing that you can transport, like a little watercolor set. And just finding a nice little area, cranking out that pencil or pen. Sometimes I usually just start using a pen and kind of just find areas of interest. And then after I get finished with the drawing part, I go over that pen with watercolors. It's something that a lot of people do, a lot of architects. Like even sometimes, like if a realtor is trying to sell a house and they have like a picture of the house, it's drawn in like a pen or an ink pen, and then used watercolors over in some areas. So that is a lot of fun. Whoops. Okay. Finish drawing, coloring that side of the field. And then I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to catch up if you aren't already. I'm not too concentrated in filling up and getting rid of all the white because, like I said, we'll be putting other colors into our field shortly. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to catch up. I'm going to jump into my trail next. And we'll be using orange and brown. Orange and brown. Okay, I found the piece that he sold. Alright, so this is the piece that he sold when he was an artist. I was correct. It was a portrait, and it was a portrait of a doctor. That is the painting that he sold for $8.2 million. So this is the piece that he painted and sold in 1890. So he sold that piece for $82.5 million. Sorry, $82.5 million. I wouldn't complain about selling only one piece for $82 million. I don't know about you guys. I would probably stop making art if I sold a piece for $82 million. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I feel like I'd always have to try making a piece to outsell that $82 million. But just let you guys know, I guessed about that piece being a portrait. I had no idea. Honest to God, I did not know that it was a portrait. I literally just guessed because of the fact that he started out painting portraits. That was a dead giveaway. Alright, so I'm going to start with my trail, coloring that in with brown. I will also be using black, so brown, orange, and black. And I'm going to leave some areas, like I did with the moon, empty, so that some of the orange pops in the trail. Brown. Give you time to catch up before I start adding my orange. Oh. So the painting Red Vineyard sold for $400. Oh, so I did not know that. Very neat. Very, very cool. So I guess it wasn't the portrait. There was a landscape that sold. Okay, so I'm going to grab my orange I'm going to go into my brown trail, filling in those areas of white that I left so that the orange pops. Crayons are perfect because sometimes they don't cover all of the areas, but the orange should still show through if you did cover the whole trail with brown. And then I'm going to take my black and I'm going to darken the edges of my trail, just very, very lightly. Show that shadow of my trail. It's like the shadow of the grass meeting the trail. I'm actually going to put some black on the top part because same with water. If you look out in the distance, the colors are a lot darker than the colors up close. So I'm lightly going over the top part of my trail, making it darker than the rest. And I'm probably going to stop like right about here. I'm not going to bring it all the way down because like I said, trails and water are darker farther back. So something else with perspective. Now I'm going to go to this side and make like a little black line going where the trail meets the grass. We will be putting strands of green grass in areas of the yellow as well. If you want to just make like a couple of black lines going in the trail, you can. Just don't make it super dark like this. You want this to be very, very dark. If you have like a dark brown, that's perfect too. If you don't want to use black. In art school, for my painting classes, we were told not to buy black paint. So I think it was so I was in college from 2016 to 2018. And most of my classes were painting classes. And in those years, I did not use black paint once. The way you make black is usually a blue, or if you want to be specific, ultramarine blue, and brown. That makes black. Okay. Next, we're going to jump into the field. The crows or the birds will be the last part of this piece. So let's go ahead and find our, we'll do the orange first. And what you want to do is just make like these kind of lines like Vincent Van Gogh did, going upwards. So just take that orange and kind of do like this technique. Just making these little orange patches in different parts of the field, the yellow field. We're going to fill up both sides with this orange. You can always go back after you fill up your yellow area by putting more and more orange to make darker or bigger patches. So if you just want to start making these little lines, go ahead and do that, and then go back afterwards with more orange in areas where you want to show more of this orange. Just little lines. some up here in the horizon line. Could you imagine using a paintbrush and doing this in the whole painting? The sky and the grass and the architecture and stuff like that. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, we have paintings at Pangolin Twist that are influenced by Starry Night, but it's usually just the sky that is Vincent Van Gogh's style. It's not the whole thing. To me, the sky in Starry Night is the coolest part. I love the sky because the stars and the clouds. Very abstract. Bit time consuming, but in the end, it's gonna make your piece look super cool and definitely look like a Van Gogh piece. Okay. Now the next side. I pretty much hit all the key facts of Vincent Van Gogh, other than where he was born and his childhood. There wasn't much. I mean, most of the things that we know today about Vincent Van Gogh were found in letter form. He wrote a lot of letters about himself and to other people, and they've just been gathered over the years and turned into what facts of what we know about Vincent Van Gogh. Yes, it was true, he did cut off his own ear, if you're wondering, but that was because of problems with himself. It was for a woman. Definitely don't suggest doing that. Got a lot of orange on this side, so I'm going to try to open that up a little bit and space out my orange lines just a tiny bit so it doesn't look like the whole thing is orange. Definitely want to show some of that yellow peeking through. Put less orange in this corner. Okay. I'm gonna put more orange over here. Okay. There is my grass. The orange grass. Be doing green next. Whatever greens you guys have. Give you guys some time to catch up. It's a lot of little lines, that's for sure. I just think it's very neat that he almost didn't become an artist. He had no former education as an artist, so he was doing it at the whim. He didn't really know techniques and color theory and stuff like that. But he started drawing a lot before he painted, and I feel like one of the most important things before you start painting is having good drawing skills. Because I was always told growing up that if you have good drawing skills, you'll be a greater painter. We all have our own methods and stuff like that, and to me, I feel like you don't really have to be that great of a drawer to be a really good painter, but a lot of people say that it does help if you're good at drawing. But just never give up. Vincent Van Gogh never gave up, so you should not give up. Oh, alright, found another one. So, a new work was made every 36 hours. So he made a new piece every 36 hours. So I guess that's how you get to that 900 number, if you guys were curious. So he made new work every 36 hours. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to find my green. And then I'm going to make little lines next to the trail, kind of like that. So like little green lines going away from the trail. And you can place these wherever you like to create green patches, but I'm going to stay close to the trail. Just because this is the only area of grass that I made near the trail. In the original painting, he had the trail split up to the left and the right, but I wanted to give you guys a break and focus on the main trail. So if you want to later, you can create this piece again if you want and create a 3-trail system. Okay. And we are on our last and final step, which is the birds. Just a little reminder with the birds, you don't want them to be like this. I'll show you. You grab my black crayon or oil pastel. You don't want your birds to be like that. I mean, you can if you want, but do not. I'm not gonna make my crows like this with straight lines. I'm gonna do my crows kind of curvy, like that, so that it shows that they are flying. I mean, you could do it like that, but I was always taught when doing silhouettes of birds flying in the sky to give them curvy wings. And to give perspective like this, so let me show you. So the first bird I'm going to make pretty big. And then I'm going to make a medium-sized one kind of diagonal from this one, and then a smaller one like that. That's how you show perspective with birds flying in the sky. And you just want to make a couple of these crows throughout the sky, some in that light around the moon. All different sizes, small birds, medium birds, larger birds. Definitely small birds in the back. So just keep in mind, I like keeping my bird's wings with curvy lines rather than straight V lines, because then it just looks like a bunch of V's in the sky, and I've never gone outside and seen the letter V everywhere. So keep them nice and curvy. To show perspective, do it like that: a large bird, a medium bird, and a small bird. So I'm gonna do like something like that near the moon, then a small bird like that. Just getting rid of all that negative space of blue. You did have a couple of birds in the grass as well flying. Have some coming off the page. Another thing you can do with your birds is, once you got this shape, this curvy V shape, adding like another kind of curvy line underneath of that, you can create the body of the bird. So if you want to do something like that, just make sure to put a kind of slanted curvy line coming from the middle point of your bird to create the body. I'm going to do that on a couple of them. Give the show of the body. Alright. I think this is pretty good. Pretty solid. Alright. So here is the piece, the final piece of this painting by Vincent Van Gogh. I hope all of you guys enjoyed this piece and the facts about Vincent Van Gogh. You can tell all your friends, your teacher when you go back to school and have art classes. Let's see who else you can brag about these facts to. Your parents, if you are watching this right now without your parents around, bring up your picture and show your mom or your dad or your grandma or different members of your family, and tell them those cool facts that you guys learned with this piece. And you will definitely get a cookie or a gold star or whatever your parents reward you when it comes to your education and stuff that you learn in school. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I think our next class is Wednesday at 5 p.m. Still on our Art with a Heart Facebook page. Show your support and donate so that we have materials and art supplies to work with the patients at Wilson Children's Hospital, since we are going back in. So thank you everyone for watching.